If you've ever laid awake at night wondering, why did he lose interest? Or why do I feel like I'm always the one trying harder? You're not alone. What I'm about to tell you is something almost no one talks about. Not your friends, not relationship coaches, and definitely not men. Because if they did, they'd be giving away the secret that keeps high-value women unforgettable. There is one thing, just one simple thing, that once revealed can instantly shift the dynamic between you and any man, and not in your favor. It's not about sex, it's not about looks, and it's definitely not about playing games. This is deeper, it's psychological, and it's happening in every situationship, relationship, and almost something without you even realizing it. Today I'm going to share the one truth that when kept to yourself, keeps your value high, and when exposed too soon, it lowers your worth in his eyes, even if he can't explain why. This video is not about manipulation, it's about preserving your mystery, protecting your emotional currency, and learning how to stand in your power in a way that makes a man want to earn your presence. So before you open up again, before you send that vulnerable text, or try to prove your worth, watch this. Because if you want him to value you, truly value you, you cannot afford to reveal this. Let's get into it. Most women assume that men value the same things they do in relationships. Openness, emotional sharing, constant communication. But here's where everything flips. Men are wired differently when it comes to what they associate with value in a romantic partner. It's not about being the most available, the most giving, or even the most loving. It's about how he perceives your scarcity, and scarcity to the male mind equals value. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding how the male brain has evolved to respond to challenge, pursuit, and emotional restraint. A man doesn't instinctively value what comes to him easily or what overexposes itself too quickly, no matter how good it is. This doesn't mean you should hide who you are, but it does mean you have to protect your emotional real estate. Because when a woman overshares too soon, especially about her fears, past trauma, insecurities, or deep longing for commitment, it triggers a subconscious shift in his brain. Instead of feeling inspired to protect or pursue, he may start to subconsciously devalue you. Not because he's cruel, but because part of him starts to believe he already has you. And when a man believes he's already won the prize without having to earn it, he stops trying. Think about it. How often have you opened up early, been completely transparent, thinking it would build intimacy, and then he slowly pulled away? That's not a coincidence. That's psychology. Men respect boundaries they have to work to cross. When you reveal less, not to be cold, but to be measured, you invite him to engage, invest, and step forward. Mystery in the male value system is like a magnet. It creates curiosity, which leads to investment, which leads to emotional attachment. When you give everything away too early, your stories, your fears, your desire for a future, he doesn't feel responsible for earning your vulnerability. And that's when the chase ends. Your value isn't in what you reveal, it's in what you choose to protect and let him earn over time. There's a reason why some women walk into a room and immediately captivate, not because of what they say, but because of what they don't. And that's what we're talking about here. Mystery, not the fake, aloof kind, but the subtle, elegant kind that makes a man lean in and think, there's more to her and I want to know what it is. Men are naturally wired to be curious, but curiosity only survives where there are questions left unanswered. When a woman gives too much too soon, emotionally, verbally, or physically, she eliminates that curiosity. She hands over the full picture before he's even decided he wants to frame it. Think of mystery as emotional pacing. It's the art of not rushing intimacy. It's knowing that connection doesn't have to be immediate or intense to be real. In fact, the slower you let someone in, the more their desire grows. A mysterious woman doesn't talk endlessly about herself. She listens, she observes, and when she shares, it's intentional. She knows that just because someone asks a question doesn't mean they've earned the answer. And that's powerful, because what a man has to work for, he invests in. And what he invests in, he values. Let's be honest, we live in a culture that glorifies oversharing. Everyone's posting their deepest emotions online. But real power doesn't shout, it whispers. It reveals itself in layers, and that's what keeps him hooked. Mystery isn't about being cold, distant, or manipulative. It's about staying grounded in your worth. It's about knowing that not every part of you is for public consumption, that your heart, your mind, your emotional world are sacred, and someone has to earn access to that. Here's something to remember. When a man leaves a date feeling like he knows everything about you, he doesn't get excited. He gets complacent. But if he leaves thinking, she's amazing, and I still feel like I've only scratched the surface, that's when the attraction deepens. Because the mystery isn't just about being unpredictable. It's about being multi-dimensional. It's showing that you're not waiting to be chosen. You're choosing who gets to discover you. When a man feels like there are still parts of you he hasn't seen, he stays curious. And when he's curious, he keeps showing up. So ask yourself, do you want him to feel like he's already figured you out? Or do you want to create space for him to keep discovering, keep pursuing, and keep valuing you with intention? The choice is yours. But remember, mystery isn't something you fake. It's something you protect, not to create distance, but to inspire depth. A big part of being a high-value woman isn't just about what you say. It's about what you choose not to say. Most of us are taught that vulnerability builds closeness. And yes, vulnerability can be powerful, but timing matters. Vulnerability too soon isn't intimacy, it's self-sabotage. So what exactly should you not reveal too early? Let's talk about it, and I'll give you some real-life examples that may hit closer to home than you expect. First, don't reveal your emotional insecurities early on. Picture this, you're 3 dates in, things are going well. But one night, after he takes a little longer to text back, you say something like, "I've just been hurt so many times, and I guess I'm scared of being ghosted again." You think you're being honest, but to him, he's now subconsciously registered you as someone emotionally fragile, someone he hasn't even earned the right to support yet. Instead of getting closer, he pulls away. Why? Because you placed emotional weight on someone who hasn't proven they can carry it. Second, don't overshare your dating history. We've all been there, sitting across from someone and trying to explain, "Well, my last relationship ended because he cheated. And before that, I was in a toxic situationship for 2 years." Again, you're trying to be open. But from his perspective, he's not learning who you are. He's learning who broke you. You've handed him a list of wounds he hasn't earned the right to see. And now, instead of seeing you as whole and grounded, he's seeing you as someone still tangled in your past. Third, and this one is big, don't reveal how badly you want commitment too soon. It sounds counterintuitive, right? But here's the truth. When you say on date 2, "I'm just looking for something serious. I don't want to waste time," what he hears isn't confidence, it's pressure. Especially if he hasn't even had time to figure out if you're right for him. It feels like you're offering him a role before he's even auditioned. And nothing kills attraction faster than urgency. Instead, focus on embodying the kind of woman who inspires commitment. Calm, grounded, self-possessed. You don't have to say you're high value. He'll feel it. The key here is this: information is power, and power should be distributed based on trust, not time. Just because a man asks something doesn't mean you have to answer in full. You can smile and say, "That's a story for another time," or "Maybe I'll tell you that once I know I can trust you with it." That's not being guarded, that's being wise. And when you master that balance, you don't just attract attention, you command respect. Let's paint 2 very different pictures. And I want you to ask yourself, honestly, which one are you currently showing up as? First, we have the oversharer. She's kind, open-hearted, and well-intentioned. She wants to build trust quickly, so she leads with vulnerability. On the first or second date, she's already talking about her childhood wounds, her last relationship, her trust issues, her vision for marriage, and how badly she wants someone who won't hurt her. Her goal? Connection. But the result? Overexposure. To the man, it feels like emotional instant soup. Hot, fast, and a little too much too soon. He might nod, listen, even empathize, but internally, he's checking out. Not because he's heartless, but because he didn't earn that level of access. She handed him her inner world without first asking if he had the emotional maturity to hold it. Now let's look at the high-value woman. She's warm, but not rushed. She listens more than she speaks. When she shares something about herself, it's thoughtful, intentional, and never too much. She doesn't try to win approval by proving how deep or real she is. Instead, she lets time do the work. If he asks about her past, she might smile and say, "That's something I'll share once I know you a bit better." And what does that do? It creates curiosity. It signals self-respect. She's not hiding, she's filtering. The oversharer wants closeness at any cost. The high-value woman builds closeness through earned trust. The oversharer believes emotional access equals connection. The high-value woman understands that emotional access equals privilege. And here's what's really important. The high-value woman feels different. She has presence. She makes a man want to uncover her story, because she's not offering it all up front. There's space, there's mystery, and most importantly, there's self-containment. Men feel that, and they respect it deeply. A high-value woman doesn't fear being misunderstood in the beginning. She knows that the right man will take the time to understand her. The oversharer is trying to rush to the safe part of connection, skipping the very tension and curiosity that makes attraction build in the first place. One is trying to convince someone she's worthy. The other is simply being worthy, and letting the man decide if he's capable of rising to meet her. So ask yourself, are you leaving room for a man to discover you, or are you giving him the whole book on page 1? Because when a man has to turn the pages himself, chapter by chapter, he won't want to put the book down. One of the biggest shifts a woman can make in her love life isn't changing how she looks or how often she texts. It's transforming how she communicates. Feminine communication isn't about being passive. It's not about saying nothing, smiling through red flags, or playing cool girl to keep a man interested. It's actually the opposite. It's powerful, intentional, and emotionally intelligent. Let's start here. Feminine communication is receptive, not reactive. When something triggers you, maybe he cancels a date last minute or takes hours to reply. The instinct might be to confront him, demand answers, or express frustration right away. That's reactive energy. But the feminine energy holds space. She pauses, she reflects, she chooses her response with purpose, not silence as punishment, but stillness as self-respect. For example, instead of texting, "Wow, really? So you're just going to ignore me?" You say, "I noticed you've been a little distant. Is everything okay?" See the difference? One pushes, the other invites. Feminine communication doesn't chase. It communicates from value, from the belief that I don't need to demand attention because my presence is already a privilege. Another key, feelings over facts. Instead of, "You said you'd call at 6 and didn't." That's disrespectful. Try, "I felt a little unseen when we didn't talk like we planned. I was looking forward to connecting with you." That shift from accusation to vulnerability doesn't weaken you. It grounds you. You're not trying to control him. You're simply letting him see the emotional truth, and a real man will feel the difference. Feminine communication also makes space for mystery. You don't need to explain every thought, justify every boundary, or defend your standards. You can simply say, "That doesn't work for me." No apology, no over-explaining, just truth, calmly expressed. Another powerful strategy, ask open-ended questions that draw him out. Instead of saying, "You don't open up to me," say, "What do you usually need to feel safe with someone emotionally?" Feminine energy creates space, and in that space, trust can grow. Lastly, don't be afraid of silence. A woman in her feminine energy doesn't rush to fill the air. She can pause, she can wait, she can let the moment breathe, and when she does speak, it lands with more impact. Because when you stop over-explaining, oversharing, or over-performing, you give a man the opportunity to step up. And that's where polarity is born. So remember this, how you speak is how you teach people to treat you. Speak with softness, strength, and sovereignty. That's feminine communication, and it's magnetic. One of the most anxiety-triggering moments in dating or a relationship is when a man starts to pull away. His energy changes. He's texting less, he's not initiating plans. Something just feels off. And suddenly your mind is spinning. Did I say something wrong? Should I reach out? Should I fix this? Here's what most women do. They lean in. They try harder. They send the extra message. Make the emotional check-in call. Ask if something's wrong. But here's the truth. When a man pulls away, leaning in is the fastest way to lose your power. Why? Because pulling away is how men often process. Unlike women, men retreat inward when they're overwhelmed, uncertain, or need space to recalibrate their emotions. If you chase during that time, it doesn't bring him closer. It makes him feel crowded. So how should a high-value woman respond? She leans back, not with coldness, not with silent treatment, but with calm detachment and emotional self-respect. You mirror the energy. If he slows communication, you slow yours too. If he pulls back from making plans, you stop rearranging your life for him. This is not about matching game-playing behavior. This is about protecting your energy. When a man senses that you're not chasing, that you're capable of staying centered and grounded in your own world, it does something powerful. It creates polarity. He starts to feel the distance he created. And if he's truly interested, that distance makes him want to close the gap. A man who's invested will notice your silence. He'll wonder what you're doing, why you're not reaching out, and whether he's at risk of losing you. That curiosity drives re-engagement. But here's the key. You don't pause your life waiting for his return. You recenter. You refocus. You pour into your friendships, your purpose, your joy, not as a performance, but as your natural state of being. If he comes back, great. You now have the power to decide if his consistency matches your standards. If he doesn't come back, that's your clarity. You didn't lose anything. You dodged settling for less. Remember, emotionally available men are attracted to women who are emotionally sovereign, who don't panic in the face of uncertainty, but hold their posture and let time reveal intention. So the next time he pulls away, don't chase, don't explain, don't try to fix it. Just take a breath, lean back, and remember, your silence is not a weakness, it's a mirror, and how he responds to it will tell you everything you need to know. Here's the truth. Most women aren't told. You don't need to convince a man of your worth. You don't need to over-explain, overshare, or overextend yourself to prove that you're enough. The most magnetic, high-value women don't chase clarity, they become it. And they do it, not through loud declarations or constant reassurance, but through the quiet confidence of their silence. Silence isn't absence. It's not weakness. It's not manipulation. It's presence without performance. When you hold silence in the right way, not from fear, but from strength, you create space. And in that space, people show you who they are. A man who's serious about you will feel that silence. It won't scare him. It will draw him in. Because real feminine power doesn't chase. It attracts. Your silence sends a message without saying a word. I don't need to beg to be chosen. I don't need to explain why I deserve respect. I'm willing to walk away from anything that doesn't value me. Think about the moments where you poured your heart out too soon, when you gave more than he asked for, explained things he didn't earn, or tried to fix something that wasn't yours to fix. How did that feel? And now think about the times, maybe rare, when you paused, held your truth close, didn't rush to react, and instead sat with your power. What happened? Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough to let someone earn the right to know what's in your heart. Because when you speak less, your words have more weight. When you don't give everything away, your value rises. And when you stop filling the gaps, people start to notice what you're not saying, and they listen more carefully. In love, less isn't about withholding affection. It's about offering it from a place of discernment, not desperation. When you make silence a part of your emotional vocabulary, you stop trying to convince and start to command attention, respect, and care. So let this be your reminder. You don't need louder words. You need stronger boundaries. You don't need longer texts. You need shorter reactions. You don't need to be more available. You need to be more intentional. The man who's aligned for you will never be scared off by your silence. He'll be inspired by it. He'll rise to meet the quiet strength in you. So stop filling the space. Let it echo, and let him feel what it means to miss you, earn you, and finally value you. Because your power isn't in proving yourself. It's in knowing you never had to. Before you click away, I want you to take a breath and just feel everything you've heard in this video. You've just been reminded of something most women forget in today's dating culture. You don't need to overshare to connect. You don't need to chase to be chosen. And you definitely don't need to prove your worth to a man who hasn't earned your emotional access. So let's quickly anchor in some key reminders before you go. Number 1. Your silence is not emptiness, it's elegance. It tells the world I am whole within myself. I don't give my story to everyone. I let the right people earn it, page by page. Number 2. Not everything needs to be revealed. You don't need to trauma bond. You don't need to unpack every past relationship. You are not being deceptive by protecting your emotional history. You are being discerning. Number 3. A high-value woman doesn't beg for clarity. She becomes it through her behavior, her boundaries, and her calm energy. She teaches others how to show up or fall away. Either way, she wins. And finally, you don't lose anything by slowing down. The man who is truly aligned with you will never need to be rushed. He'll be drawn to the parts of you you keep sacred, not the parts you offer too easily. So here's your next step. Look at how you've been showing up. Ask yourself, am I leading with truth or fear? Am I giving too much too soon? Or am I grounded in my power, letting people earn access to me? If this video spoke to you, don't just nod and move on. Take action. Unsaid, save this video. Watch it again the next time you feel tempted to overshare. Unsaid. Comment below what part hit the hardest for you. What's one thing you're going to do differently starting today? Unsaid. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because this channel is here to teach you how to move through dating, love, and life as the most confident, emotionally sovereign version of yourself. And one more thing, if no one has told you lately, you don't need to change who you are to be loved. You just need to stop giving the most sacred parts of yourself to people who haven't earned them. Let them wander. Let them work for it. Let them rise to meet the woman who's already whole. Your next chapter starts when you stop explaining your value and start embodying it. I'll see you in the next video.